Heights originally premiered on Broadway in 2008 and was later adapted into a movie musical by the original creator and writer Lin-Manuel Miranda in 2021. The film takes place in Washington Heights, New York. It is narrated and centers around the character Usnavi as he dreams of moving back to the Dominican Republic to reopen his family's bar, El Suanito, and reconnect with his family heritage now that his father has passed away. The story also revolves around the community of Washington Heights and their individual dreams. At the heart of this film, audiences witness a community that is intertwined with each other and supports each other, even as the threat of gentrification begins to take over their corner of New York. Manuel describes how the show that he wanted to create emerged from his memories of growing up in New York's Washington Heights neighborhood. He used hip-hop and salsa to pay homage to a close-knit community of immigrants and strivers, bodegas and block parties, friends who feel like family, and families that deal with the tensions of trying to make it in the greatest city in the world. This film uses this community's stories to examine the themes of history, memory, and cultural resiliency that our class has focused on throughout this semester. Here's a clip from an interview Lin-Manuel Miranda did talking about the creation of In the Heights.
Back everybody, I'm here with Lin-Manuel Miranda! Let's talk about In the Heights. This is the movie adaptation of your Tony-winning Broadway musical. You started writing this when you were in college. You were 19 when you were writing this. And what did you envision when you were writing this?
Yeah, I was not much older than the king of wishful thinking.
Exactly.
That you saw. But I honestly, I knew I wanted a life in musicals. I directed West Side Story my senior year of high school, and I knew that was kind of it for Puerto Rican guys in musical theater. That's all that existed. Yeah. I love that show, but it was a long time ago.
Wow.
And I just kind of was writing what was missing, and I wanted to write musicals starring Latinos, telling different stories, and and here we are 20 years later, right? And now I'm on the Tonight Show talking to you. Like, that's crazy.
The groups of characters that we follow in this film are all either themselves immigrants or descendants of immigrants. Characters who grew up outside of the United States are often used in the film to pass on their history and memories to each other, as well as connect with their own cultural identity. The most evident and powerful use of history and memory within the film is Abuela Claudia's performance of Paciencia y Fe. The film uses her narrative as well as visuals to display her personal memories and experiences of being an immigrant to the United States. As Cazares claims, Abuela Claudia's experience strongly parallels the struggles of many Puerto Rican and Dominican immigrants.
Trying to catch a break, struggling with English. Listening to friends, finally got a job working as a maid. So we cleaned some homes, polishing with pride, scrubbing the whole of the Upper East Side. The days into weeks, the weeks into years, and here I stay.
This scene is filled with power and emotion to display the hard work she and many other immigrants go through in a country that isn't accepting of them. When Abuela Claudia dies in the film, a memorial is put in her place with the phrase Paciencia y Fe on it. Seeing this scene prior to her death, it is evident that the memorial functions as a reminder of the community of long-term working-class residents and clients of Usnavi's bodega in the face of the continued growth of more affluent residents. It is also important to point out that the film is also centered around passing on the history of Washington Heights to the younger generation, as Usnavi is shown doing throughout the film. This is in response to the threat of gentrification that begins to infiltrate their community. This emphasizes that not only is their cultural history important, but the history of Washington Heights and their community is important to these characters, as it is a part of their identity. The use of history and memory within the film also builds the character's cultural resiliency. This can be seen in Carnaval del Barrio. Carnaval del Barrio is a large song and dance number found towards the end of the film. In this performance, Daniela starts the number by recalling her favorite time of year growing up in Puerto Rico because of the big celebrations that would occur. Her personal connection to the history of the Carnaval del Barrio inspires the others in their community to throw their own right there in Washington Heights. Soon everyone is up and dancing and singing along with Daniela. There is an important moment in this number where groups of dancers are shown with their cultural flag hanging behind them, each displaying their traditional dances. This is a number that embodies the celebration and feeling of pride that this community has for its different cultures. Even as characters such as Sunny fear what gentrification will do to their community, the community holds pride and celebration in their cultural resiliency because no one can change who they are. The film ends with our protagonist, Usnavi, choosing not to go back to the Dominican Republic because he has everything he needs in Washington Heights. He has a community that supports him, and he takes it upon himself to take on Abuela Claudia's legacy as the grandparent of the neighborhood. He wants to teach the younger generations to connect with their own history and culture, but also connect with the history and culture of Washington Heights. Overall, In the Heights utilizes history, memory, and cultural resiliency to portray the stories of a community, like many other Latinx communities in the United States. The cast and production teams of both versions of In the Heights recognize their responsibility in telling a story that would impact culture because they knew they were representing a uniquely diverse neighborhood and culture, who all have their own dreams and create their own community to uplift each other and celebrate who they are, highlighting issues of gentrification and its effects on Latinx communities such as Washington Heights, but also their resiliency.